said, "Come wander with me, love. Come wander with me away from this sad world. Come wander with me."
Diet Coke cans made from the Titanic. Part 2. Outdoor bar. I awoke a few hours later in a damp bed, wearing damp clothes, with half my face clung onto by Anna's damp hair. Since our vows have been spoken into the world in the presence of our loved ones and God, Anna and I had written a new record of a physical and mental roller coaster. The drink a lot, fuck hard, and wake up in abysmal dread cyclone. I pushed Anna off the bed, and she fell, wrapping the comforter around her like cotton candy. This was my life now. Peak existence. What didn't I have? My sales of my novel had plateaued, but had garnered the unofficial title bestseller. My wife was achieving her dreams. She was one of the most sought-after ballet dancers in the country, and we were happy together. We were on a permanent vacation, with every experience and journey another exhibit in the Universal Amusement Park. Anna rolled onto her back, wrapped tightly inside of the thick comforter. Through a big yawn, she said, "What the fuck, Alex?" "Oh good, you're up," I replied. "Want to go and get some breakfast?" "You took the words out of my mouth, Flapjack." "Don't say Flapjack. No one even knows what that means." Anna, the most beautiful creature above and below this ocean, lifted her shoulders and pushed the bottom of her head down, causing her chin to double. Then with a deep voice, almost sounding like a swamp toad, she replied, "Flapjack." Then she swayed back and forth until she gained enough momentum to stand up. She stood before me, still swaddled in the blanket, and puckered her lips, a subtle demand for a kiss. It was sweet and longer than most of our morning kisses. At first, when our relationship was still a seed branching out its roots, we stayed away from each other. Then, after a while, we just didn't care. "Embrace me, oh bright shining sun, and let me take heed on the hot rocks. Let me bask deep into your heat and evaporate into the smoke," I performed into the room of unzipped suitcases and wet clothes while holding my wife's face. Slightly annoyed with me, she pulled her head away from my hands. Then, almost in a sudden jolt of panic, she rested her head upon my chest. The comforter dropped, and she began to softly brush my chest hair with her manicured fingernails. "We are going to fight so much when we get older. I'm already so over your shit." "Is that what you want to do today, Anna? Fight?" I replied, resting my chin upon her hair. "Yes," Anna responded, then bit my left pec hard. The pain was instant and every engine in my body came alive. "Ow!" I exclaimed and pushed her away from me. "That's what you get for pushing me off the bed, jackass." After we made up with another kiss and got dressed, Anna and I headed to the dining hall for breakfast. Anna ordered a cold glass of chocolate milk and a hot cup of coffee. 2 eggs over easy with 3 slices of bacon. I ordered a Sprite and a hard-boiled egg. After a walk around a few levels of the ship, exploring and shopping, Anna looked through the heavy curve of her newly purchased black sun hat, gave a small grin, and sat down at the outdoor bar. I followed and sat at the bolted-down stool beside her. She quickly turned, and the wide brim of her sun hat slapped me in the face. Finally, a place that doesn't have carpet. "You have a problem with carpet?" I asked, standing up and moving to the next empty seat outside her wide brim's reach. "Are you out for blood?" She looked at the ocean, its forever rich blue around us, pointed and said, "See that?" then quickly turned around, the brim of her hat fanning a stack of napkins off the bar, pointed to the eloquently designed green carpet in the deck's port side hallway, and said, "You see that carpet?" "Yes," I replied, standing and picking up the dropped napkins around her. After picking up the last one by her feet, I stood as she turned, the brim of her hat slapping me in the face again. She smiled wider, the purpose of buying her expensive, obnoxious hat already paying off. But without losing the preconceived higher ground in her mind, she said, "That's a really nice carpet. I mean, it would look ugly as shit in somebody's house, but somehow it pairs well with the Atlantic Ocean." The bartender came over to our side and asked us what we would like to drink. Anna looked at the menu on the bar, then smiled again while saying, "I was thinking we would play a game. You order my drinks and I order yours?" "Game," I replied. She held the menu away from me, only the front with the graphic design of the ship showing my direction, and pointed to an item. "This whole honeymoon, I'm just going to point at things and slap people with this hat," Anna whispered to me like it was a secret covenant, and then handed me the menu. As I looked at the menu, scouring the wines, beers, alcohols, and mixed drink, Anna put her elbow on the bar, placed her chin upon her palm, and said to the bartender, "How about them Bulls, huh? That Pippen is something else, right?" "Wasn't Jordan the MVP of the finals?" the bartender replied, almost confused. "Oh man," I thought while deciding on her drink, "she's got you exactly where she wants you." "Jordan, which one was that again?" The bartender looked to be in shock while shaking the concoction together. "He's 23, dear," I replied, happy to add to her performance. "He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time," the bartender replied in amazement. "Was he the guy crying with the trophy?" she asked, locked and loaded. I pointed my order to the bartender as he looked with me with widened eyes and placed her order upon the bar. "He's been with the Bulls since 1984. That was a huge moment for him. Oh my gosh, the fact that somebody even beat the Lakers, ending their Showtime run, was a reason alone to watch the finals. But Michael's playing was so on point and beautiful, everyone is talking about it. He was poetry in motion." And I took the jalapeno margarita I ordered for her and took a sip, ready to turn the tables. But that was really due to Jackson implementing the triangle offense, making the team work together instead of relying solely on Jordan and his shooting skills. The bartender recognized she had been teasing him, and he busted out laughing. "I really thought you were being serious." I sipped from the jalapeno margarita she ordered me, and the three of us shared a moment of pure happiness for the Chicago Bulls' victory. Anna knows everything about everything, especially carpet that paired well with the Atlantic Ocean. She always had an unexplainable knowledge of every categorical topic to exist since the collapse of the Roman Empire. Diseases, sports, instruments, leaders, and artists. Anna could engage with anyone that gave her a moment of their time. Soon they were hours into the conversation talking about pirates and declaration signings. After a cool buzz washed over my reddened skin and Anna carried on with the other bar patrons, I fell into the depths of my consciousness and drifted into pictures of my new novel, The Man Who Wore Pink. These were my favorite moments of writing, the intangible photo book of memories you flip through before words ever hit the page. It never ceases. The third eye of a visionary is forever unbound to the quarrels of the natural realm. Imagination is God's greatest gift to any species. It is the purest and grandest parts of ourselves. And as I looked out into the bluest ocean, with infinite mysteries in every direction, I was writing my first fiction novel. Lost in the existential infinity, a slender hand found itself entangled in mine, my beautiful wife, my soulmate. This wonderful woman now connected to me. I was brought back to here in the present with her, my sunburned and inebriated goddess. She looked at me, her blue eyes reflecting the Atlantic, its devastation, fate, and transcendence. The countless passageways her mind has explored, her eyes only seeing the path God had designed for her before the universe was set into motion. The pain and sorrow she's experienced, now gifted with the pleasure and exuberance of endless drink and food. Anna kissed me on the cheek, her lips chapped and dry. "I love you," she spoke softly. "I love you too," I replied, my heart overwhelmed. Who was I to deserve this? "I think I'm getting a little drunk already. I want to go back to the room and take a nap, but I'm afraid the bed is still going to be gross," she exclaimed loudly. Anna finished off her drink and clinked it against the bolted down bar. "Need to put some towels down on the mattress next time before you come near me with that enormous cock." The other patrons at the bar began to eavesdrop. Anna patted me on the back and flicked her hand. "Give me keys. I'ma pass the fuck out." "You have the keys, babe," I replied as she leaned her chin upon my shoulder and slid her hand through the buttons of my shirt, rubbing my newly begotten abs. "Oh yeah," she laughed. "You right, bad boy." She leaned into me, her lips brushing against my ear, and whispered, "Grab my ass." I did, tightly curving into the palm of my right hand. She kissed me on the cheek again and took the keys from the back pocket of my high-waisted denim shorts. "Have fun, don't die," she said, walking away, rotating the cabin key around her finger. I watched her as she stepped onto the hallway carpet and made a gagging motion, sticking her tongue out and placing her index finger in her mouth. It was a private gesture, knowing Anna didn't perform it for an audience, but nevertheless, from the new cult following she had attained from this afternoon's mere bar talk, added with our gross public display of affection, the surrounding clientele of mixed race, religions, and economical backgrounds paused and subtly watched as their entertainment stumbled down the carpeted hallway. Once her obnoxiously large sun hat was beyond their sight, their attentions moved towards me. An elderly man shook his head and laughed. "You two must be newlyweds." It was a surreal moment, one I hoped would constantly be in the background of my mind, and something obtainable I could grasp at any moment I desired. A shiny bottle of endless nostalgia and young love. My wife. My new wife. "Never met her before in my life," I replied, standing from my seat, placing a tip upon the bar. I patted him on the back and walked away. I don't want to live life fine. I want to live an exciting life that's happy. Like, the dream's still there. Just the material possessions. But the dream's to be a gallery artist and published by a traditional house. And fame really isn't my goal, not anymore.
With the stick of the whip on my